In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the rear brake calipers on this Buick Enclave. Let's get into it. We're going to remove the wheel, use a 22mm socket, take the lug nuts off. Remove the wheel. Using an 11mm socket, we're just going to loosen up the brake hose. Just crack it free, and you can just snug it up just so it stops leaking. That's good. That'll make it easier later. Using a 14mm socket, take these two bolts out for the caliper. If the pin starts spinning, then you can use a 17mm wrench. Hold it from spinning. Do the same with the top one. Grab the caliper, slide it off. Use a brake caliper bracket or a hanger and just slide that out of the way. Make sure there's no tension on the brake hose. Take the brake pads off. Using a 21mm socket, take these two bolts out. Slide the bracket off. Now we're going to separate the bracket from the caliper. Use a 17mm wrench, 14mm socket. Take these bolts out. Slide that off. Now take the slide pins out. I'll just wipe this down. Take some silicone. Lubricate the pin, slide it back in, make sure it seals. We'll do the same on the other one. Take a thin coat of silicone just on where the pad clips are going to go. That's good. Take the pad clips, slide those in place. That's good. Now we can install the bracket. Slide the bracket over the rotor. Take the bolts. You can put some thread lock adhesive on the bolts. Torque these bolts to 129 foot-pounds. Take the brake pads, slide those in the bracket. Brake caliper, go over the brake pads, take the bolts, get those started. Torque these bolts to 20 foot-pounds. We'll take the banjo bolt out. And we get a couple seals. One of the seals is going to go on the inside of the bolt. Then we go through the hose, and then the other seal goes on the outside. And I take the caliper, the old one, and we're going to take the hose off. 11mm socket. Make sure you have a drain bucket underneath. You're going to lose some fluid. And it's always a good idea to check the reservoir, make sure there's plenty of fluid in it. There we go. Pull that off. And we have to take the old seal off. Just going to use some pliers just to hold that. We'll unscrew it the same way. There's the old seal. Take the old bolt out. Just wipe this down with a rag, make sure it looks okay. You might need a wire brush if there's corrosion on it, but this one looks fine. Take the bolt, one seal on the inside, through the hose, other seal on the outside. Line this up. Now I'm going to torque the banjo bolt to 30 foot-pounds. Just take the cap off the bleeder screw. I'm just going to use a pick. Slide that off. And we're going to gravity bleed first using a 11mm wrench. Loosen that up. Just make sure you have a drain bucket underneath. I'm going to let some of the fluid come out first. Now it's dripping. I'm just going to close the bleeder. Just snug. Then I'm going to take a hose with a bottle. Slide it over, and with an assistant I'm going to have them pump the brake pedal. Go ahead and pump the brake pedal. After 3 times, now hold it. While they're holding it, I'm just going to open the bleeder screw. See the fluid come out. Now I'll just close it. All right, go ahead and pump it and hold it. That looks pretty good. One more time, go ahead, pump it. And hold it. I don't see any air, so that looks good. Snug this down. Take the hose off. Put the cap on. We can clean all this area up, any brake fluid that's dripping. And then after you road test the vehicle, double check, make sure there's no leaks. If there is, just snug it up a little bit more. Put the wheel up. Get the lug nuts on. Now I'm going to torque the lug nuts to 140 foot-pounds in a cross pattern. Just go around again, double check. After you're done, double check your brake fluid, take the cap off, and top it off with the appropriate type. Up to the fill line, it's good. Put the cap back on, double check your brake pedal, make sure it feels good, and you're good to go.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.